Welcome to the Shadows, Tennessee's most haunted places. Hello, fellow explorers, and welcome back to another spine-tingling journey through the world of the unknown. If you're new to our channel, allow me to introduce you to the realm we call home, a sanctuary for those who dare to delve into the dark corners of history, the whispers of forgotten legends, and the unsettling allure of places where the veil between worlds grows thin. Tonight, we're venturing deep into the heart of the American South, where the air is thick with mystery and the past refuses to rest. Tennessee, a state rich in culture and history, is also home to some of the most terrifying haunted locations in the country, places where the echoes of tragedy, violence, and the supernatural linger in the shadows, waiting to ensnare the unwary. From the misty forests of the Appalachian Mountains to the creaking floorboards of antebellum mansions, Tennessee's haunted landscapes are as diverse as they are chilling. These are not just buildings left to decay, they are monuments to the lives once lived within their walls and the stories that refuse to be forgotten. Whether it's the ghostly cries of lost souls in the halls of old asylums, the phantom footsteps of soldiers who never made it home, or the eerie apparitions that appear when the moon is at its highest, each of these locations carries with it a unique and unsettling energy. As we embark on this eerie expedition, prepare yourself for an unsettling ride. The places we'll explore are not merely settings for horror stories. They are portals to the past, where the line between reality and the supernatural blurs. Whether you're a seasoned thrill seeker or a curious newcomer to the world of the paranormal, this journey promises to send shivers down your spine and leave you questioning what lies beyond the veil of the ordinary. So, fasten your seatbelts, dim the lights, and brace yourself for the chilling stories of Tennessee's most haunted places. The darkness awaits, and the tales are just beginning. Bell Witch Cave, the legend that shook Tennessee. Deep in the rolling hills of Robertson County, Tennessee, lies one of the most infamous haunted sites in American history, Bell Witch Cave. This unassuming cave, nestled beneath a quiet stretch of farmland, is the epicenter of one of the country's most terrifying and well-documented cases of supernatural activity. The legend of the Bell Witch has captivated historians, paranormal investigators, and horror enthusiasts for over 2 centuries, blending folklore, historical records, and unexplained phenomena into a chilling tale that continues to haunt the region. The story begins in the early 1800s, when John Bell, a prosperous farmer and landowner, settled in what was then the frontier of Tennessee. In 1817, strange occurrences began plaguing the Bell household. It started with faint knocking sounds, followed by whispers in the night, and soon escalated to full-blown poltergeist activity. The family claimed that an unseen entity, which called itself Kate, had taken a particular interest in Betsy Bell, John's teenage daughter. Kate would speak to Betsy in a mocking tone, predicting future events with eerie accuracy, and even threatening physical harm if her commands were not obeyed. As the disturbances grew more intense, the Bell family sought help from neighbors, clergy, and even local lawmakers, many of whom became witnesses to the haunting. According to historical accounts, President Andrew Jackson himself visited the farm during his time as a military commander, reportedly leaving shaken after experiencing something inexplicable. Witnesses described objects moving on their own, the sound of invisible footsteps, and a spectral figure that appeared to John Bell in his final days, whispering, "I am death." In 1820, John Bell died under mysterious circumstances, allegedly poisoned by the witch's hand. Following his death, the haunting continued, with Betsy Bell reportedly enduring years of torment before finally leaving the farm. The entity, known as the Bell Witch, became a local legend, inspiring countless retellings, books, and even films. But beyond the folklore, many believe that the spirit of the Bell Witch still lingers, particularly around the cave that bears its name. Today, Bell Witch Cave remains a site of intrigue and fear. Visitors claim to hear strange whispers echoing through the tunnels, while others report cold spots, unseen presences, and even ghostly apparitions that vanish into the darkness. Some say the spirit of the Bell Witch is not truly malevolent, but rather a vengeful force bound to the land, forever seeking justice for a wrong that has long since faded from memory. Whether the legend is rooted in truth or superstition, one thing is certain: those who dare to enter Bell Witch Cave do so at their own risk. Ramsey House, a ghostly presence in Knoxville tucked away in the heart of Knoxville, Tennessee, stands Ramsey House, a grand colonial-era mansion that has long been whispered about in local lore as one of the most haunted homes in the state. Built in 1797 by Francis Ramsey, a prominent physician and Revolutionary War veteran, the house was once a symbol of wealth and prestige. Today, it serves as a historic landmark, offering tours and educational programs, but beneath its polished exterior lies a history steeped in tragedy, mystery, and the lingering presence of something unseen. The Ramsey family lived in the home for generations, witnessing both triumphs and heartbreaks. One of the most tragic chapters in the house's history involves Mary Ramsey, the daughter of Francis Ramsey's grandson, George Ramsey. According to local legend, Mary fell in love with a young man who was not considered suitable by her family. When her father forbade the relationship, Mary became distraught and, in a fit of despair, threw herself from the second-story balcony, dying instantly. Since then, visitors and staff have reported strange occurrences within the house, particularly near the staircase and balcony, where a faint, sorrowful sigh is sometimes heard, and a cold breeze suddenly sweeps through even on the warmest days. Another frequently reported phenomenon is the sound of a woman crying, particularly in the upstairs hallway. Some claim to see a shadowy figure standing near the staircase, only to vanish when approached. Others describe feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness when entering certain rooms, as if the grief of the past still lingers in the air. One of the most chilling accounts comes from a tour guide who, during a late-night rehearsal for a historical reenactment, claimed to hear the sound of footsteps pacing above, even though no one else was in the house at the time. Beyond the legend of Mary Ramsey, other spirits are believed to haunt Ramsey House. Some say the ghost of George Ramsey himself can be seen wandering the grounds, particularly near the old carriage house, where he spent much of his time. Others speak of a child's laughter echoing through the empty rooms, despite the fact that no children have lived in the house for over a century. Whether these accounts are the result of residual energy from the past or something more sinister, one thing is certain: Ramsey House remains a place where the boundary between the living and the dead feels disturbingly thin. Andrew Johnson Hotel, a haunting in downtown Knoxville in the heart of downtown Knoxville, Tennessee, stands a building that has borne witness to decades of history, tragedy, and the lingering echoes of the past. The Andrew Johnson Hotel. Originally constructed in 1910, this grand hotel was once a hub of social life, hosting dignitaries, politicians, and travelers from across the country. Named after the 17th President of the United States, who hailed from Tennessee, the Andrew Johnson Hotel was a symbol of elegance and prosperity for much of the 20th century. However, beneath its polished floors and ornate chandeliers lies a darker history, one of despair, mystery, and the unshakable feeling that the past has never truly left. Throughout its long history, the Andrew Johnson Hotel has been the site of numerous unexplained occurrences, earning it a reputation as one of Knoxville's most haunted locations. Guests and staff alike have reported strange phenomena, ranging from phantom footsteps echoing through empty hallways to the sound of a woman sobbing in the middle of the night. Some of the most frequently reported experiences involve Room 437, a seemingly ordinary guest room that has become infamous for its haunting presence. According to local legend, a woman in a white dress has been seen standing near the window of Room 437, gazing out at the city below. Some guests have claimed to wake in the middle of the night to find a figure standing at the foot of their beds, only for it to vanish when approached. Others have described a sudden drop in temperature, as if something unseen is watching them from the shadows. One particularly chilling account comes from a hotel employee who, during a routine cleaning, found a message scrawled on the bathroom mirror in what appeared to be condensation, the word, "Help." When she returned later that day, the message had vanished, leaving behind only a lingering sense of unease. Beyond Room 437, other parts of the hotel have also been linked to paranormal activity. The elevator, for instance, is said to move on its own, stopping at floors where no one has pressed a button. Some guests have reported riding the elevator alone, only to feel an unseen presence standing beside them, despite the mirrored walls reflecting no one. Others have described hearing the faint sound of a piano playing in the early hours of the morning, though no one has touched the instrument in years. While the identity of the hotel's ghost remains a mystery, Local folklore suggests that the spirit may be connected to a tragic event that occurred in the building's past. Some believe that the woman in white was once a guest who met an untimely end within the hotel's walls, while others speculate that she may be the spirit of a former employee who never truly left. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain: those who stay at the Andrew Johnson Hotel may find themselves sharing their room with something far older than the building itself. The Old Stone Fort, a mysterious presence in Manchester perched atop a serene hill in Manchester, Tennessee, stands a structure unlike any other, a mysterious stone fort whose origins remain shrouded in controversy and speculation. Known as the Old Stone Fort, this ancient ruin predates European settlement in the region, with archaeological evidence suggesting it was built by Native American cultures over 2,000 years ago. However, its true purpose remains a subject of debate, with theories ranging from a ceremonial site to an astronomical observatory. But beyond the historical intrigue, the Old Stone Fort has gained a reputation for something far more unsettling: paranormal activity that has drawn ghost hunters, historians, and thrill-seekers from around the world. Local legends tell of shadowy figures that wander the fort's stone walls at night, vanishing when approached. Visitors have reported strange lights flickering between the trees, the sound of distant drums echoing through the air, and an overwhelming sense of being watched, even when completely alone. Some claim to hear whispers in an unknown language, while others describe a sudden drop in temperature as they walk through the ancient pathways. These eerie encounters have led many to believe that the fort is not just a relic of the past, but a place where the veil between worlds is thin. One of the most frequently reported phenomena involves the apparition of a Native American warrior, seen standing near the fort's entrance, staring into the distance before fading into the mist. Some believe this spirit is a guardian of the site, protecting the sacred ground from those who do not respect its history. Others suggest that the fort is a residual energy hotspot, where the emotions and rituals of the past continue to echo through time. Regardless of the explanation, one thing is certain: those who visit the Old Stone Fort often leave feeling as though they have stepped into a world where the past and present collide, and where something unseen still lingers. The Tower Theater, a haunting in Franklin nestled in the heart of historic Franklin, Tennessee, stands a once grand movie palace that now sits in eerie silence. The Tower Theater. Originally opened in 1938, the Tower Theater was a beacon of entertainment, drawing crowds with its ornate architecture, velvet curtains, and the latest Hollywood films. For decades, it was a cultural hub, where families gathered for weekend matinees and lovers stole kisses in the back rows. But behind the glamour of the silver screen lay a darker history, one of tragedy, mystery, and the lingering presence of something unseen. The theater's haunted reputation began to take shape in the 1970s, when reports of strange occurrences started surfacing among employees and patrons. Staff members claimed to hear the sound of footsteps pacing the aisles long after closing time, even when the building was empty. Projectionists reported flickering lights, equipment turning on by itself, and the faint sound of laughter echoing through the empty auditorium. Some believed the spirit of a former projectionist, who had worked at the theater for decades, remained behind, unwilling to leave the place that had been his second home. However, the most chilling legend associated with the Tower Theater involves a tragic death that occurred during its heyday. According to local lore, a young girl was struck and killed by a car just outside the theater's entrance. Her death left the community in mourning, and some say her spirit never truly left. Visitors have reported seeing the faint outline of a small figure darting between the seats, only to vanish when approached. Others have described an overwhelming sense of sadness when walking through the lobby, as if the echoes of the girl's final moments still linger in the air. In recent years, the Tower Theater has become a popular destination for paranormal investigators, many of whom have captured unexplained voices on audio recordings, shadowy figures on camera, and temperature fluctuations that defy logical explanation. Some researchers claim to have heard the faint sound of a film projector playing, though the machines have long since been disconnected. Whether the hauntings are the result of residual energy from the past or something more sinister, one thing is certain: those who enter the Tower Theater may find themselves watching more than just a movie. The Harpeth Hotel, a ghostly presence in Franklin standing as a testament to Franklin, Tennessee's rich history, the Harpeth Hotel has long been a fixture of the town's landscape. Originally constructed in the early 19th century, the hotel has welcomed countless travelers over the years, its halls echoing with the footsteps of soldiers, merchants, and politicians. However, beneath its elegant facade and refined decor lies a history steeped in tragedy and the unshakable feeling that not all of its former guests have truly left. One of the most frequently reported paranormal occurrences at the Harpeth Hotel involves room 302, a seemingly ordinary guest room that has become infamous for its haunting presence. Visitors staying in this room have described a sudden drop in temperature, as if an unseen force is watching them from the shadows. Some have reported seeing a woman in a white gown standing near the foot of the bed, only to vanish when approached. Others claim to hear the faint sound of a woman sobbing, particularly late at night when the halls are silent. Local legend suggests that the spirit haunting room 302 may be connected to a tragic event that occurred during the hotel's early years. According to historical accounts, a young woman staying at the hotel during the Civil War era was heartbroken when her fiancé, a Confederate soldier, was reported missing in action. Desperate and grieving, she is said to have thrown herself from the third-floor window, her body landing in the courtyard below. Since then, guests and staff have reported a lingering sense of sorrow in the room, as if the woman is still searching for her lost love. Beyond room 302, other parts of the hotel have also been linked to paranormal activity. The grand staircase is a hotspot for strange occurrences, with guests claiming to hear phantom footsteps ascending and descending, even when no one else is present. Some have reported seeing a shadowy figure lingering near the front desk, only to disappear when approached. Others describe the faint scent of perfume drifting through the air, despite no one wearing fragrance nearby. Despite its haunted reputation, the Harpeth Hotel remains a popular destination for both history enthusiasts and paranormal investigators. Whether the spirits of the past truly linger within its walls or if the hotel simply carries the weight of its own history, one thing is certain: those who stay at the Harpeth Hotel may find themselves sharing their room with something far older than the building itself, the Union County Courthouse, a seat of justice and the supernatural in the quiet town of Maynardville, Tennessee. Stands a historic building that has borne witness to centuries of legal proceedings, political debates, and the passage of time. The Union County Courthouse. Built in 1802, this stately structure is one of the oldest continuously operating courthouses in the United States, its grand columns and weathered stone walls exuding a sense of timelessness. However, beyond its role in shaping the legal landscape of East Tennessee, the courthouse has gained a reputation for something far more unsettling: paranormal activity that has drawn the attention of historians, investigators, and the superstitious alike. The courthouse's haunted history is deeply intertwined with the town's past, particularly the Civil War era, when Union County was a site of fierce conflict between Confederate and Union forces. The courthouse itself was used as a makeshift hospital during the war, where wounded soldiers were treated in the very halls where legal proceedings now take place. It is believed that the suffering endured within these walls has left behind a lingering energy, with visitors and locals alike reporting strange occurrences that defy logical explanation. One of the most frequently reported phenomena occurs in the second-floor courtroom, where cold spots and sudden temperature drops are commonly felt, particularly near the judge's bench. Witnesses claim to hear the faint sound of marching footsteps, as if unseen soldiers are still patrolling the halls, and some have described seeing shadowy figures lingering in the corners of the room, only to vanish when approached. Others report the scent of blood and gunpowder in the air, despite no recent disturbances or renovations that could explain the smell. Another chilling legend involves the basement of the courthouse, where prisoners were once held before their trials. Locals speak of the ghost of a condemned man who was executed for a crime he claimed he did not commit. According to the tale, his final words were a curse upon the courthouse, vowing that his spirit would never leave until justice was truly served. To this day, visitors claim to hear the sound of chains rattling in the basement, and some have reported seeing the faint outline of a man in tattered clothes, standing near the old jail cells. Whether these accounts are the result of residual energy from the courthouse's tumultuous past or something more sinister, one thing is certain: those who step inside the Union County Courthouse may find themselves sharing the space with something far older than the building itself. The Old Manse, a ghostly presence in Greenville tucked away in the quiet town of Greenville, Tennessee, stands a stately 19th century home known as the Old Manse, a place steeped in history, tragedy, and the lingering presence of something unseen. Built in 1834, this grand residence was once home to Governor John Sevier, one of Tennessee's most revered political figures. However, beyond its historical significance, the Old Manse has earned a reputation as one of the most haunted homes in the region, with reports of phantom footsteps, shadowy figures, and unexplained voices echoing through its halls. The most frequently reported phenomenon at the Old Manse involves the apparition of a woman in a long, flowing dress, who is often seen wandering the upstairs hallway, only to vanish when approached. Some believe she is the spirit of Mary Patton, the wife of Governor John Sevier, who lived in the home during the early 1800s. According to local legend, Mary was known for her deep devotion to her husband, and when he passed away, she was said to have grieved so profoundly that she never truly left the house. Visitors and staff have described a sudden drop in temperature when standing in certain rooms, particularly near the staircase, as if an unseen presence is watching them from the shadows. Another chilling account involves the sound of a baby crying, which has been heard in the early hours of the morning, despite the fact that no infants have lived in the house for over a century. Some believe the spirit of a child who once resided in the home still lingers, calling out for someone who will never answer. Others have reported seeing a small, shadowy figure darting through the rooms before disappearing into the walls. Despite its haunted reputation, the Old Manse remains a popular destination for history enthusiasts and paranormal investigators alike. Whether the spirits of the past truly linger within its walls or if the house simply carries the weight of its own history, one thing is certain: those who visit the Old Manse may find themselves stepping into a world where the past and present intertwine, and where something unseen still watches from the darkness. The Old Gray Cemetery, Whispers of the Dead in Knoxville, tucked away on the outskirts of Knoxville, Tennessee, lies a place where the past refuses to rest. Old Gray Cemetery. Established in 1850, this historic burial ground is the final resting place for many of Knoxville's most notable figures, including Adolph Oakes, the former publisher of the New York Times, and William G. Brownlow, a Civil War-era governor of Tennessee. But beyond its historical significance, Old Gray Cemetery has become infamous for something far more unsettling: reports of paranormal activity that have drawn ghost hunters, historians, and thrill-seekers from around the world. Visitors to Old Gray have described a strange, oppressive energy that settles over the cemetery, particularly at dusk and dawn, when the light casts eerie shadows over the moss-covered headstones. Some claim to hear the faint sound of footsteps trailing behind them, despite the cemetery being completely empty. Others have reported seeing shadowy figures standing among the graves, only to vanish when approached. Perhaps the most chilling encounters involve the sound of a woman crying, particularly near the Confederate Circle, a section dedicated to soldiers who died during the Civil War. Locals believe the spirit of a grieving widow still wanders the cemetery, searching for the grave of her fallen husband. One of the most frequently reported phenomena occurs near the tomb of Adolph Oakes, where visitors have described a sudden drop in temperature and the faint glow of a light flickering near the entrance, despite no electrical sources being present. Some claim to hear the sound of pages turning, as if Oakes himself is still reading the newspaper from beyond the grave. Whether these accounts are the result of residual energy from the past or something more sinister, one thing is certain: those who visit Old Gray Cemetery may find themselves listening to the whispers of the dead. The Mabry Hazen House, a legacy of tragedy and the supernatural. Perched atop a hill overlooking Knoxville, Tennessee, stands a grand Victorian mansion that has borne witness to over a century of history, heartbreak, and the lingering presence of something unseen. The Mabry Hazen House. Built in 1858, this stately home was once the residence of 3 generations of the Mabry and Hazen families, who played significant roles in Tennessee's political and military history. However, beneath its elegant facade lies a history steeped in tragedy, mystery, and the unshakable feeling that not all of its former inhabitants have truly left. One of the most frequently reported paranormal occurrences at the Mabry Hazen House involves the apparition of a woman in a black dress, who is often seen wandering the upstairs hallway, only to vanish when approached. Some believe she is the spirit of Josephine Mabry, the wife of General William Mabry, who lived in the home during the late 1800s. According to local legend, Josephine was deeply devoted to her husband, and when he passed away, she never truly moved on. Visitors and staff have described a sudden drop in temperature when standing in certain rooms, particularly near the staircase, as if an unseen presence is watching them from the shadows. Another chilling account involves the sound of a child laughing, which has been heard in the early hours of the morning, despite the fact that no children have lived in the house for over a century. Some believe the spirit of a young girl who once resided in the home still lingers, calling out for someone who will never answer. Others have reported seeing a small, shadowy figure darting through the rooms before disappearing into the walls. Perhaps the most unsettling phenomenon associated with the Mabry-Hazen house is the legend of the phantom drummer. According to historical accounts, a Union soldier once lived in the home during the Civil War, and he was known for his love of drumming. After his death, locals claim to have heard the faint sound of a drumbeat echoing through the halls, particularly late at night. Some researchers have captured unexplained rhythmic sounds on audio recordings, adding to the growing list of unexplained encounters. Despite its haunted reputation, the Mabry-Hazen house remains a popular destination for history enthusiasts and paranormal investigators alike. Whether the spirits of the past truly linger within its walls or if the house simply carries the weight of its own history, one thing is certain: those who visit the Mabry-Hazen house may find themselves stepping into a world where the past and present intertwine, and where something unseen still watches from the darkness. Final thoughts. The shadows that linger as we bring this journey through Tennessee's most haunted places to a close, one truth becomes undeniable: these locations are far more than crumbling buildings or rusted ruins. They are echoes of human ambition, frozen in time, where the laughter of the past lingers like a ghostly whisper beneath the creaking of forgotten structures. From the eerie silence of Bell Witch Cave to the haunting stillness of the Mabry-Hazen house, each site we've explored carries a story steeped in tragedy, mystery, and the unexplainable. These are not just relics of decay, they are monuments to joy, loss, and the thin veil between worlds. What makes these places so captivating is their ability to blur the line between reality and the supernatural. They remind us that even the brightest places can cast the darkest shadows. The same ballrooms that once hosted grand dances now resonate with the faint echoes of unseen footsteps. The grand estates that once housed families now stand as silent witnesses to the lingering presence of those who never truly left. Whether it's the phantom giggles echoing through the old manse, the shadowy figures glimpsed at the Harpeth Hotel, or the tragic tales of lost souls in Old Gray Cemetery, these locations challenge our understanding of what it means to be haunted. Are they truly home to restless spirits, or do they simply carry the weight of history, imprinted onto the very soil by the emotions of those who once walked their paths? Yet, beyond the chills and thrills, these places also serve as poignant reminders of the impermanence of human creations. They are testaments to the fleeting nature of dreams, where joy, fear, and ambition collide. To explore them is to walk the fine line between curiosity and reverence, between the desire to uncover the unknown and the responsibility to honor what came before. So, as you step away from this tale, we invite you to share your own stories. Have you ever visited one of these haunted locations? Have you felt the chill of something unseen or heard the faint echo of laughter in the silence? Drop your experiences in the comments below. We'd love to hear from fellow explorers who have felt the pull of the forgotten. And if you enjoyed this journey through the haunted corners of Tennessee, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another spine-chilling adventure. Until next time, remember, the past is never truly gone. It lingers in the rusted hinges of forgotten doors, in the flicker of lights that no longer burn, and in the whispers carried by the wind through empty corridors. For those who dare to listen, the stories of these places are far from over. Safe travels, and may the echoes of the forgotten never follow you home.